everybody, and welcome to a new week and a new maths lesson. I know that in literacy you have been looking at the owl and the pussycat, and our maths today is going to be linked to that. But just before we start, I want us to think about using known facts to help us. So we're going to be having a look at some number bonds to 100 with missing numbers, but we're going to be using our knowledge of our number bonds to 10 to help us work out the answer. Let's have a look at our first one. It says 10 plus 90 equals. Okay, so what we should be spotting straight away is that we've got a 1 here and 9 here. We know that 1 and 9 makes 10, so 10 and 90 is going to make 100. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, now we've got a missing number 1. So of course, we know we could start at 20 and we could count up to 100, but we don't need to do that because we know our altogether number is 100 and we know that we've got a 2 here. So we need to think that when we're making 10, which number goes with 2? I say 2, you say. Hopefully you shouted 8 at me. So I know I need to have a T here. Because if I know that 2 and 8 makes 10, I know that 20 and 80 makes 100. Let's have a look at this one. 60 plus something equals 100. I'm looking at this here and I'm thinking, oh, 6 and what makes 10? I say 6, you say 4. So 60 plus 40 must make 100. Ooh, 30. 30 plus something equals 100. Think about what goes with 3 to make 10. We know that I say 3 and you say 7. So 30 plus 70 equals 100. You see how we can work out these quite tricky missing numbers just by using our known facts. We don't have to do any counting at all. Oh, 80 plus something equals 100. We might have already done something that will help us here. But if not, let's have a little look at 8 plus something. I say 8, you say 2. So it must be 20. And if we look at this one here, we could have used this to help us as well, because we can see that the addends have just been swapped over. And we know that will have the same total. It doesn't matter in an addition number sentence if we swap the addends over. Okay. Also, let's have a look at a couple where we have the equals here. So now our total is at the start, but that doesn't matter, does it? Because we know the equals is here and we're still going to have that scale. So I'm still trying to make 100. I've got 90 here. So what do I need to add to 9 to make 10? It would be 1. So 90 plus 10 equals 100. We've got the same thing here. We've got the equals at the start. That's okay. We know that's the total. We're still trying to make 100. So 70 plus what makes 100? I could have a little look over here and I could use this to help me. Or I just know that 7 plus 3 is 10. So 70 plus 30 equals 100. It's really important that you know your number bonds to 10, 20 and 100. Hit the button is a really good game to get on because it's fun to practice these bonds. And they just come into everything that we do in maths almost. So really spend some time on hit the button if you're not sure on any of those. Okay, today's AFL. You have been reading in your literacy lesson this morning all about the owl and the pussycat. So the owl and the pussycat are off on a new adventure and they're going to be gone for quite a few weeks. So they've got to pack lots and lots of food. How many ways can you partition 48 packets of food so that the owl and the pussycat are both carrying some? I would like you to show me your workings on your AFL, please, at the top of your worksheet. So I'll just read that again. How many ways can you partition 48 packets of food so that the owl and the pussycat are both carrying some. Pause the video here, and then when you're ready, press play. Okay, so what do we know about 48? Well, we know that it can partition into 40 and 8. So that might be a good place to start. So perhaps the owl could carry 40 and the pussycat could carry 8. And we would show that by doing this. Or we could do it in an addition number sentence as well. So we could show it as a partition, part-part whole model, or we could show it as an addition number sentence. Okay, so that's the easy way of doing it, but there's lots of other ways that we could do it as well. We could move one of these over here. So now the owl is carrying 30 and the pussycat is carrying 18. So that's a different way of partitioning 48. 30 plus 18. We could keep doing that. We could put another 10 over here. So now the owl is carrying 20 and the pussycat is carrying 28. We can keep going. Now the owl is carrying 10 and the pussycat is carrying 38. 10 plus 38 makes 48. All we're doing is moving things around. Now, we could also move some of these ones over as well. So now the owl is carrying 22 and the pussycat is carrying 26. So 48 can partition into 22 and 26. Still makes 48. We've just split it in a different way. I could do this. Now they're both carrying 24 packets of food each. That's quite a fair way of doing it. You know, they should both carry the same, really. So luckily we've been able to partition 48 into 24 and 24. Okay, so there's so many different ways that we could partition 48. Let's have a look at a different number. So here we go. Now we've got 25. We haven't got as many packets of food here. And we can see the owl and the pussycat here, and we're going to partition it again. So the easiest way would be 25 partitions into 20 and 5. So I can just move these over here and leave these over here. The owl is going to carry 20. The pussycat is going to carry 5. I can move that one over there and that one over here. The owl is going to carry 11 packets of food and the pussycat is going to carry 14 packets of food. I might want to move that one over there. So the owl is now carrying 12 packets of food and the pussycat is carrying 13 packets of food. There's lots of different ways of doing it. See if you can come up with a good way of doing it, so an efficient way of doing it, so that you can come up with lots and lots of different ways. Also think about what could happen if you broke up one of these 10s as well. What would happen then? So you might want to record today using pictures, which would be absolutely fine. So say we're thinking about 25, you could show that as 20 over here and 5 over here. If you want to make it really obvious, you could put a line down the middle, and then you might want to show me a different way. So this time I'm going to go 12 there and 13 there. I've still got 10, 23, 24, 25. I'm going to split it that way now. Or you might want to do it as a part-part whole model. So you've got your altogether number at the top, which we know is 25. And we're going to partition that into 20 and 5. But over here, we've partitioned it in a different way. still going to have 25 at the top because that's what we're making. But this time we're going to partition 25 into 12 and 13. If you do this line in the middle, just make sure that it's a different colour, otherwise you might think it's a 10. It might be better to put circles around them like this, actually, I think would be better. Or if you don't want to do pictures, you don't want to do part whole models, you could do addition number sentences. So you could have, let's have a look at this one, 20 plus 5 equals 25. You might want to start with a 25. 25 equals 12 plus 13. So I don't mind how you record today, but you've got to do a little bit of investigating and you've got to see how many different ways you can partition the number that you are given. So let's have a little look. We're going to be partitioning numbers today, and we need to understand that it can be partitioned in different ways. So although we know 24 partitions into 20 and 4, actually there's lots of other ways that 24 can be partitioned as well. We know that the altogether number will stay the same. Okay, so that's the number that we start with before we decide to partition it. And we've got to be able to show a number of ways that you can partition a 2-digit number. So not just 1 or 2 ways, I want lots and lots of ways. Strawberries. What I'd like you to do is to collect 20 items. It could be Lego bricks, it could be pennies, it could be buttons, it can be anything that you can use as a counter. And when you've got your 20 things in front of you, I want you to partition them into 2. So I want you to split them into 2, count how many you've got in each group, and then record it. So here we go. I'm just going to do this. Can you see how I've split them into 2? And I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 over here. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 over here. So I haven't got my 20. Where's my 20? 1, 2. Oh, 2 seconds. This is why you should always, always, always check. And when you've got your 20, make sure you don't make the same mistake as me and make sure that you have enough. Okay, so now if I've got 8 on this side, I know that I will have 12 on this side because I know that 12 and 8 is a bond of 20. And that's how I knew that the answer wasn't right, because I knew that I needed more than 10 to make 20. So that's what you guys are going to do some careful counting, get your 20 items, split them up, record it in your book in a way that you would like to, and then put them together again and then split them in a different way. Okay. Melons, oranges and peaches, you are going to have this number today, 58. Now what I suggest for you guys is that you get some pencils, some crayons or something that you can use to represent your 10s, because you need something long and straight. Unless you have a very kind parent who will let you have 5 chocolate bars and 8 little bits of chocolate, but we might not have that much chocolate. So you could use pencils and then use something smaller to be your ones. Again, you might want to use pennies, you might want to use tiny little Lego bricks, you might want to use pennies, but you need something small that looks different to your 10s. And then you can have a go at partitioning 58 in as many ways as you can. Once you've done that, I've got this challenge for you here. This time they have partitioned the food packets 3 ways. So how many packets is the pig carrying? So here we've got 74 as our altogether number. We've got 31 here, so this must be what the owl is carrying. We've got 20 here that the pussycat is carrying, and then we've got a blank here, the pig. So what we need to do is add these 2 together and then work out how many more we need to get to 74. So that's linked to last week's maths. If you are in Kiwis, I want you to partition 79 for me, please. Do that in as many ways as you can. When you think you have partitioned 79 in as many different ways as you can, I've then got a challenge for you. So this time the pig is joining them for a trip. And now the food packages need to be split 3 ways. So I want you to show the different ways that they can partition the food packages now. So you might have one number plus one number plus one number equals the altogether number. Or you might want to present it as a part, part, part whole. There we go, 3 parts make the whole. If you do lots of those and you really want to impress me, I want you to have a think about what would happen if they split the packages between 4 of them. Come up with as many different ways as you can. Okay, be careful with your counting. Check that you have got the correct equipment to help you to start with. Don't do what I did with the 20 counters and get the wrong number, otherwise all your maths will be wrong. So make sure you've got your altogether number correct, made out of something that you find in your house that makes sense to you, and then have a go at doing this maths. Thank you very much.